Right, so today I'm going to be showing some vintage t-shirts I picked. I'll wait for that helicopter to pass. So today, 2 different places I picked up t-shirts. Let's start with the Etsy ones. I've got 4, so let's start with item number 1. So this is the first pickup I got off Etsy. It's a vintage Queen's Rush t-shirt, size large. I did size up. All of the ones I picked up today are sized up to some extent, because I'm a true to size medium. But this one, the colours are just like so nice. Like front, you've got these like, it's quite a minimalist colour scheme. You've got the faded black, you've got the red and the white, and then on the back, it's just a bit of blue there, which kind of adds to it. So this one was, I think about 40-ish quid. So it was on the more expensive side of what I'd be willing to pay, but that's what vintage clothes are like, man. Like if you go on Etsy, which is, it's a more curated way of finding them because you do get these vintage shops kind of collecting stuff for you. So they do know the prices they tend to go for. Whereas trolling through eBay, you can find ones for cheaper just because people will be like chucking out their old clothes. But you do have to sift through a lot. So item number 1, Etsy. Right, on to the second black t-shirt I copped off Etsy. This is the second and last one. And this one, again, just went for a slightly different colour scheme. You've got the blues and the purples. It says the Montreal Jazz Festival 1984. So, do you know what? It's aged well. I believe it's actually from 1984. It's not a reprint. And I don't know why you would reprint this anyway, but this one fits slightly different. It's a large, the same as the last one, but this one's got a really kind of like cropped cut to it. That's one thing you really do have to look out for with these, is the fit is really inconsistent. I've got, I think, 4 larges, and all of them fit differently. This one's really cropped, like, I don't know if you can see, but it barely hits like past my waistline, whereas the other one is one I'd wear tucked because it is quite long. But yeah, really nice. Colours are amazing. The graphic is a bit like, do you know when you can kind of feel it like it's been printed a bit cheaply, it's cracked a bit, but kind of adds to the look. And again, it's a bit faded, nowhere near as grey as the previous one. But it's a bit greyed, lovely t-shirt. And it was much cheaper than the other one. I'd say that this one was probably about between 15 and 20 quid, I think. So you can't really go wrong. It's the price of it like a top man t-shirt. Right, this one is another one I picked up off Etsy as well. You're noticing a theme here. Most of these I think were from the same shops as well. And went for a white one this time, like really nice kind of summer vibes. Really, really minimal kind of look to the front. Just a simple kind of Spanish text, portrait in the middle. And this one's an extra large. And this one I do find is a bit big. Even when tucked in, I do find that it's a bit like balloony on me. It's probably a bit too big. So what I might do is I might try and see if I can at least get it cropped a bit, so when you tuck it in and pull a bit out, there's not as much fabric kind of flowing over, and just see what I can do to it. But again, really nice pickup, wasn't too expensive, and colour scheme's just so nice on it. Like, I couldn't believe my luck when I stumbled across this piece. So that is the third Etsy pickup. I've got one more, and then we're on to the ones I found at home. Right, and this is the last one I actually found on Etsy. And this one was a steal. I think this was the cheapest of the lot. This was probably about 12, 13 quid, something along those lines. And it's a beautiful kind of thin, flowy shirt. And this text here is actually raised. It's not printed on. It's a raised kind of textured text. I'm not sure what it's made out of. It almost feels like an old felt. And Lincoln Center birthday ball, October 14th, 1989. And we've got a little bit of text on the back as well, but I don't think that's really important. But just a lovely kind of flowy shirt. And again, this one's an extra large as well, but this, because of the way the fabric kind of moves, I think it works a bit better than the kind of thicker shirt. Like, it kind of suits the billowy nature a bit more. But this one was an amazing pickup, and I think the reason it was cheaper is because I find that most expensive vintage shirts you find are from more recognisable things. So because this is from just a commemorative kind of ball, people don't really care about that stuff, so you can just pick it up on the cheap. But the colours are amazing, man. You've got the, again, it's fairly simple colour-wise. You've got the pink and the purple. You've got a bit of pink here as well, but there's not really much to it, and it's just a steal. super happy with it. Really nice. On to the ones that I got at home. So this is possibly a viable alternative if you can't go thrifting or hitting up charity shops or like even vintage shops, because this is actually one that my parents had. This was picked up in America at some point in the mid-90s because they couldn't, like, just for like novelty t-shirts, you couldn't really find big, baggy, like quirky designed stuff in the UK. So whenever they went on holiday to America, they picked stuff like this up. They are hit and miss. There were a lot lying around the house and I hated most of them. But the hits are really nice. Like this one, fairly simple on the front. It just says Caribbean Soul. You do have a little lizard with some sunglasses on. So it is kind of like a kitsch, a bit more humorous one, which I think is really hit and miss with vintage tees. You can get a lot that look really ugly because of it, but with this, I just think the colours kind of suit it a bit, like, and it's quite subtle that. And then on the back, you've got this kind of Caribbean beach bottle of, is that tequila or rum? The same lizard on the front here. And it's just a super like muted colour palette, really nice kind of spring summer vibes. I didn't notice until I'd worn it a few times, but on the back there, you've actually got a couple shagging behind the bottle. So it is more of a novelty t-shirt than I thought. But again, like, that doesn't stop me wearing it. The colours are super nice. It's quite a subtle kind of joke there, so people won't notice it. Really nice, really happy with it. And this was free because, again, picked this up at home. So if you think you can find stuff like this around your house or around some relatives' houses and you know they don't wear them anymore, I recommend trying it, man. Like, you can get some really nice stuff. So again, and this is a large. This fits way smaller than the others. I still tuck this in, but it doesn't kind of billow like the other white t-shirts I've got. It fits more in line with the Queensryche one, but you'll see how it looks on body. And yeah, really nice shirt. And last but not least, for the ones that I picked up at home, is this Steamboat Colorado one. This is from when my parents used to go skiing. Massive sun graphic in the middle. Little green fringing around the sides, but barring that, again, really simple, clean colour scheme. Steamboat Colorado printed on the bottom. And this is a large as well. And with this and the other one, and if you do find old t-shirts again, I'd recommend doing this, is I actually ran them through the wash with a little bit of bleach, just to kind of bring the whites a bit back up, because when you've got t-shirts that have been sitting around for a while, especially in someone like a smoker's house, they do tend to yellow a bit. So this one and the other one, I did actually have to bleach, which did leave the fabric feeling a little bit rougher, but it didn't affect them visually, like in a negative way. It just made the whites a little bit cleaner, makes the graphic pop a little bit more. It didn't affect it at all, which is cool, which is something you can do with printed t-shirts, like bleaching them won't affect that. And yeah, this is a large as well, fits pretty similarly to the other one. And yeah, if you can pick stuff up at home, then I definitely recommend it. So yeah, so that is about it for what I've got vintage t-shirt wise. I've got some of the stuff that I'd picked up at home that are on a maybe pile, like where there's some stuff that I don't think makes them like instant keepers, but I might consider them, see how I feel. But overall, I think that's a really good option. If you can't get out to thrift or just look around vintage shops, and you know that you found like someone in your family's got this stuff lying about, then ask them. I mean, the worst they can say is no. And I'm really happy with some of the pickups I've got. Like, I don't think they'd have been too expensive had they been on a vintage shop, because they're not like super sought after stuff. Like most of the expensive stuff you see is like the Nirvana merch, the Metallica merch. So they're not super sought after, so you would have been able to get them for fairly cheap, but getting stuff like that for free is a fucking steal. So that's it. White t-shirts, great addition to your summer wardrobe. They'll look great with like baggy or blue jeans. You can get away with them like skinny black jeans as well, depends which vibe you're going for. And the black t-shirts, man, like that. They're just a wardrobe staple, adds a bit of interest that you don't really get with a plain black tee. They're unique, and I definitely recommend trying to check some out if you can. Alright, cheers, bye.